Starting with number 1, Lavochkin Lag-3, Soviet Union, 1941. Introduced during the opening weeks of Nazi invasion, the Lag-3 was supposed to modernize the fighter fleet, but arrived as an underpowered, overweight wooden disaster. Pilots despised it, calling it the guaranteed varnished coffin, a reference to both its construction and its deadly reputation. The aircraft could not be pulled out of dives, stalled suddenly during sharp turns, and possessed minimal structural durability. Its wooden laminate deteriorated in service. Of 6,528 built, combat attrition combined with design failures meant many aircraft never survived their first operational month. Pilots' fear was justified. The machine was fundamentally unflyable in combat conditions. 2. Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-9, Soviet Union, 1946. The Soviet Union's first jet fighter embodied post-war ambition, but concealed a catastrophic design flaw. Pilots who fired the cannon at altitude discovered that gun exhaust gases were sucked directly into engine intakes, strangling the engines of oxygen and igniting them in catastrophic flames. Test pilot Ian Grinchik was killed when the aircraft pitched uncontrollably during testing. Multiple armament configurations were attempted, but nothing solved the issue. Pilots faced an unbearable choice: fire weapons and crash, or enter combat unarmed. This fundamental design flaw went unfixed. The aircraft was superseded so quickly that production ceased after only 610 aircraft. 3. Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-19, Soviet Union, 1954. This second-generation jet suffered from a different, but equally lethal flaw: thermal failure. Multiple in-flight explosions killed entire crews before engineers traced the problem to poor insulation between hot engines and fuel tanks in the rear fuselage. High-altitude flight caused temperature buildup that ignited fuel without any external damage. Initial production aircraft had no solution. Pilots simply died in mysterious explosions. A basic metal heat shield eventually mitigated the problem, but only after catastrophic losses. The flaw revealed fundamental gaps in thermal analysis and pre-flight testing that should have been elementary. Design deficiencies were discovered only through pilot deaths. 4. Tupolev Tu-104, Soviet Union, 1955. This jet airliner was presented as the triumph of Soviet civil aviation until the crashes began. Of 201 Tu-104s built, 37 crashed. Over 18% of the entire fleet was lost. Across all accidents, 1,137 people died. The aircraft suffered from profound structural and aerodynamic instability that designers initially blamed on pilot error. Analysis of a catastrophic 1958 Beijing crash revealed the fuselage itself was compromised. The aircraft would enter uncontrollable spins from which no recovery was possible. Subsequent crashes confirmed inherent instability. Despite repeated attempts to fix fundamental problems, accidents continued until passenger service was abandoned. The aircraft became a symbol of Soviet aviation's systematic failures. 5. Antonov An-10, Soviet Union, 1957. This transport aircraft proved Soviet problems extended beyond fighters. Its anti-icing system was so defective that 2 aircraft iced over and crashed during its first winter in service, killing 72 people. The fuselage vibrated so violently during flight that pilots suffered nausea and exhaustion. Equipment failures were constant and unpredictable. After only 13 years of operation, an absurdly brief lifespan, metal fatigue caused wings to simply separate mid-flight. Only 104 aircraft were built. At least 12 crashed with fatal consequences. The aircraft earned a grim reputation among crews who understood that each flight might be their last. Structural integrity could not be assured. 6. Sukhoi Su-7, Soviet Union, 1959. This fighter bomber exemplified Soviet performance prioritized over engineering. During its first 5 years in service, 82% of accidents stemmed directly from design defects rather than pilot error. The powerful Lyulka engine's massive fuel consumption left almost no capacity for weapons. The airframe lacked stability at low speed, and landing required extraordinary pilot skill. The fuselage design left insufficient room for fuel tanks, crippling operational range. Official Soviet records documented 114 crashes and over 220 accidents in service. Its mean time between accidents was 1,700 hours, roughly half that of comparable Western aircraft. Pilot training could never overcome fundamental design deficiencies. 7. Tupolev Tu-22, Soviet Union, 1962. This medium bomber was perhaps the most physically demanding aircraft ever placed into operational service. Its unreliable VD-7M engines caused repeated lethal accidents. Pilots required extraordinary strength simply to maintain control. Both hands remained permanently locked on the control yoke throughout entire flights. The minimum landing speed was 180 miles per hour, among the worst of any operational military aircraft, leaving almost no margin for engine failure. Ejection seats ejected downward, lethal during low-altitude escapes. Cockpit visibility was so poor pilots nicknamed it Blind John. Maintenance consumed enormous labor for routine operations. The aircraft was punishing. 8. Tupolev Tu-144, Soviet Union, 1975. The Soviet Union's supersonic airliner was conceived as propaganda triumph, but delivered catastrophe. At the 1973 Paris Air Show, the Tu-144 disintegrated in spectacular fashion before 250,000 spectators, killing all 8 crew members and 14 people on the ground. Structural analysis revealed the aircraft could withstand only 1 G negative force, an absurdly low limitation for any aircraft. Early operations accumulated over 200 failures, 80 occurring in flight. A fuel system fire in 1978 forced a belly landing near Moscow, killing 2 crew members. Commercial passenger service lasted less than 7 months. The program was quietly abandoned. 9. Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-23, Soviet Union, 1971. This variable geometry fighter was supposed to represent revolutionary advancement, but proved dangerously flawed. During testing, critical faults emerged. Dangerous behavior at high angle of attack, propensity to spin uncontrollably, and cracks developing between fuselage and wings. Cockpit visibility was dangerously poor, forcing pilots to lean forward to see behind them. The engine had short service lifespan and overheated frequently. Fuel system design flaws, corrected only in later variants, meant earlier aircraft suffered high attrition. Over 5,000 MiG-23s were produced despite these deficiencies. Pilots from multiple nations reported poor handling and structural unreliability. Production continued despite documented evidence of design failures. 10. Yakovlev Yak-38, Soviet Union, 1976. The Yak-38 VTOL fighter combined excessive complexity with inadequate engineering. Its dual lift engine configuration consumed fuel so rapidly that combat endurance was merely 15 minutes under optimal conditions. If a single lift jet failed, the remaining engine's thrust would spin the aircraft uncontrollably. To protect pilots, designers installed automatic ejection systems triggered by excessive roll. But these systems fired during routine maneuvers, ejecting pilots into the sea or terrain. Approximately 20 to 30% of all production aircraft were lost in accidents, an extraordinarily high attrition rate. The aircraft proved unsuitable for operational service. Pilots understood their lives were expendable. 11. Mikoyan-Gurevich MiG-23s, Soviet Union, 1969. The earliest production variant of the MiG-23 was worse than later models, incorporating design elements not yet fully tested. During protracted testing from 1969 to 1973, 11 MiG-23s aircraft revealed numerous dangerous faults. Behavior at high angle of attack was unpredictable. The aircraft would enter uncontrollable spins, and fatigue cracks developed between fuselage and wings. Several test pilots died during evaluation flights. These failures forced the early MiG-23s into brief frontline service before unreliability issues became undeniable. Production ceased with only 60 aircraft built. The variant was quietly retired, a failure so complete that later 23 models were substantially redesigned before operational service. 12. Yakovlev Yak-38, Soviet Union, 1966. This VTOL technology demonstrator was the predecessor to the Yak-38, but possessed even more fundamental problems. The aircraft suffered from uncontrollable handling characteristics during vertical flight transitions. Only 4 Yak-36 aircraft were built for evaluation. 1 crashed during testing. The design was so compromised that it never entered service. Its failure led Soviet planners to demand a simpler, production-ready variant, resulting in the Yak-38. Yet despite the Yak-30 SAX's catastrophic shortcomings, planners proceeded with a naval variant based on its fundamentally flawed architecture. The decision to continue development despite documented design defects reflected Soviet priorities. Operational aircraft mattered more than pilot survival. 13. Tupolev Tu-144D, Soviet Union, 1978. The ultimate Tu-144 variant embodied all the program's accumulated failures. Introduced after 2 catastrophic crashes had already destroyed confidence in the design. The Tu-144D was supposed to incorporate lessons learned. Instead, it suffered the same fatal deficiencies. During a test flight on May 23, 1978, the aircraft's fuel system ruptured due to unexpected vibration frequencies that designers had never anticipated. Fire spread through the wing. 2 flight engineers were killed in the resulting belly landing near Moscow. The accident revealed that fundamental fuel system problems remained unfixed through all variants. The disaster ended the program entirely. No more Tu-144s would carry passengers. 14. Mikhail Gorbachev MiG-9 57mm variant, Soviet Union, 1946. The MiG-9's original configuration carried a 57mm cannon instead of the later 37mm gun. The larger weapon system proved even more problematic than the 37mm variant. Gun gases from the 57mm cannon mounted in the aircraft's nose were sucked directly into both engine intakes simultaneously, causing catastrophic double flameout at altitude. The larger caliber made the problem worse, not better. Multiple test configurations were attempted to isolate the gun gases from engine intakes, but all failed. The 57mm variant was dropped after only a few prototypes. Even switching to the smaller 37mm failed to fully solve the inherent flaw. The aircraft's design was fundamentally compromised from conception. 15. Sukhoi Su-17, Soviet Union, 1972. The Su-17 variable wing successor to the Su-7 inherited many of its predecessor's structural problems, while adding new complications from its swing wing mechanism. Variable sweep wings altered the center of gravity unpredictably during flight transitions, creating dangerous handling characteristics. Pilots reported difficulty controlling pitch and roll during wing sweep transitions. Structural failures in the wing fuselage joints, similar to MiG-23 problems, developed during operational service. The aircraft required lengthy maintenance between flights. Early variants suffered high accident rates until design modifications were implemented. Despite improvements, the Su-17 never achieved the reliability pilots demanded. The complexity of variable geometry design, pursued by Soviet designers seeking tactical advantages, consistently produced structurally unreliable aircraft that endangered crews. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if I made any mistakes, please let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Also, tell me your next topic ideas in the comment box. Thank you for watching.